just have to say, thanks for the endorsement, Bill. Took you long enough.
Oh, snap!
That was Hillary Clinton back in the day taking a jab at Mayor Bill de Blasio of New York City for holding out on endorsing her last year. Is she about to get her revenge? De Blasio's soft poll numbers have led to talk of Hillary Clinton challenging his re-election bid, and of course she would have dominion over a certain Manhattanite, President-elect Trump. So will she run? The panel's back with me. Neera Tanden, confidant of Hillary Clinton and attendee at a recent Bill de Blasio fundraiser.
Yes, the morning of the story.
Is it possible that Hillary Clinton will run for mayor of New York City?
I think she's going to figure out ways to help kids and families. That's been what she's been focused on her whole life. And there are a lot of issues that are affecting them over the next couple of years, but I don't expect her to ever run for any elected office again.
You don't ever?
Yeah,
ever
that's
again?
my sense. I don't expect her to run for this, and I don't expect her to run for other office. I think her job is what she's thinking about right now is how to help serve kids and families as she has her whole life.
All right, well, let's leave that there. I want to go back to Obamacare because the senator weighed in, and I know a lot of people have thoughts. Here is Senator Chuck Schumer talking on January 4th about Republican efforts to repeal Obamacare. Take a listen.
They want to repeal it and then try to hang it on us. Not going to happen.
What do you want to see Democrats do if Republicans, or when Republicans, I should say, repeal Obamacare?
I mean, continue to fight. I mean, Jake, people in this country, healthcare is the most fundamental thing that they have. Your wealth is your health. And for Republicans, after 60 times of trying to repeal it, for them to not have a replacement in mind at this moment is scandalous. You cannot just throw people out. 30 million people, their lives hang in the balance over this, and that is real. Healthcare is real, and Democrats certainly understand that. It doesn't seem like Republicans do.
Alice, there are millions of Americans who now have health insurance because of the Medicaid expansion that was part of Obamacare. Also, there are millions of Americans who can now afford health insurance because of tax subsidies and stipends. Is it important that Republicans have something in mind for them before they take that away?
That's clearly in the works, and Schumer is exhibiting what we're seeing from a lot of Democrats, imposing the Pottery Barn rule with regard to Obamacare, that you broke it, you own it. The truth is, it's been broken since its inception, and we've heard assurances from Speaker Ryan over the past week that they're not going to pull the rug out from underneath these people that currently have coverage. And Vice President-elect Mike Pence said, look, we are going to be promise keepers. This is a promise we made to voters. We were elected based on repealing and replacing Obamacare, and they are committed to doing just that and making it a smooth transition.
You're absolutely right. Donald Trump said he would repeal and replace together. In fact, after the election, he said he would repeal and replace together. And there are 5 million people who voted for Donald Trump, at least 5 million, who are receiving health care because of the Affordable Care Act.
Because of the stipends or because of the Medicaid expansion?
Both.
Yeah.
And because of the exchanges and because of Medicaid. And those people trusted Donald Trump that they would know what their plan is. They expect the same or better. And right now, what Republicans are saying is, please jump off this cliff, and we'll tell you where the net is on your way down. They are not planning. No. The absolute truth is here, you were right. They should have a plan. And their plan right now is to tell you after the next election. Americans can see through that. 75% of Americans oppose that plan. And I hope they listen to Donald Trump, who's already raising questions about the strategy, and give people the plan they're going to have as they vote to replace them.
Senator, you saw Senator Rand Paul had said that President Trump committed to him repeal and replace, to have a replacement. When I asked Kellyanne Conway about it, she had no commitment as to the timing. But you think, how can the Republicans not have a replacement?
Well, here's the interesting thing, and this is why Rand Paul, I think, is apoplectic, and a lot of conservatives are saying we need to have a replacement in place, and here's why. Because if you repeal Obamacare, that means you repeal all, and they're going to do it through reconciliation, which means just taxes and spending. That's all they can really touch. They can't touch a lot of policy, which means they're going to get rid of the taxes, they're going to get rid of the fees, they're going to get rid of all the spending proposals, and so they're gone. So they're going to have to replace it, which means they're going to have to vote for new taxes, new spending. And conservatives are saying, whoa, 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 we're not going to do that.
Right.
You've got to do it at the same way so it doesn't look like we're a few months before the election.
You want the
next
Obamacare
year.
taxes.
We're going to want some of them. And some of the money that's there from Obamacare is going to have to be used, or at least some version of it. It has to be used to finance a lot of the proposals are being put forward to help subsidize the private insurance programs that are going to be put forward. So there will be a repeal and replace. I don't think that logistically they're going to put up a vote to repeal everything and then have to vote for a tax increase to put a new thing in place.
It's just a fascinating story. Nina, Senator Alice, Neera, thank you so much. Appreciate one and all. Happy New Year. Thanks for being here.